tits, bitch.
Hello, fiends and fiendettes. Welcome to episode 82 of the best horror podcast on 7voltmedia.com and the world. Scream Fiends, I'm your host, Xander, and with me once again is Russ.
Hi.
If you're just joining us for the first time on this show, we talk about all the things going on in the world of horror, and if you're a longtime listener, you know we oftentimes don't follow by any sort of guidelines, rules, etc., etc., etc. That's how we roll up in this hizzy. Nope. Get at us on Twitter at Scream Fiends. Let us know what you're watching, what we should watch. Something good, something bad, something mediocre.
Yeah.
And all in between. Always looking for something new to watch. Patreon.com/ScreamFiends. You can donate if you would like, but you do not have to. All of our content is always free of charge, but we would love your support. You can find us on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. Congratulations. You've won. What have they won, Russ? Nothing. Congratulations. Please subscribe, please like, please comment down below what you thought of this week's movie. Subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on Google Play Podcasts. Subscribe.
Yeah. Yes.
Russ, what have you been watching, playing, etc., etc., etc.?
I've been watching The Office.
It's a great show.
It's horrible. It's horrifying how I can't stop watching it. I got a monster game yesterday.
Oh, a monster game.
Yeah, it's called Shadow of the Colossus.
The remake.
It is a remake. It is pretty. I should have brought it over so we could see it.
I haven't picked it up yet.
I
plan to, but...
Did you like it originally?
Yeah, I never beat it, but I mean, I got the appeal,
Yeah.
why people love it so much.
I didn't beat it either. I got far, but
Yeah.
I didn't beat it either. I got to a boss that I can't remember, and I haven't sat down to play it since it came out. I did get the re-release for the PS3 where they did that up-res or whatever.
Yeah, that had Eco with it.
Yeah, and I played more Eco than I did Shadows at the time.
Huh.
I hope they do an Eco now.
See, I never really cared for Eco.
Sure.
It was probably the controls.
Yeah.
Because that PS3 remaster didn't fix the controls. This and Shadow of the Colossus, the controls were still the really crappy PS2. They don't know what they're doing yet.
See, I missed that challenge of bad control design where things just don't work.
Before third-person adventure games got games in general now, any genre pretty much have that control scheme. Deus Ex, the first Deus Ex, not the first, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah, that still had the whole clicking the right thumbstick to aim, that kind of dumb stuff. And I know the newest Deus Ex fixed that, but still, come on.
Was the original not the original, obviously, but that first day was that? I thought that was a third-person action adventure game. Or was it first person?
It was first person, but then if you did any combat takedowns or whatever, or I think even if you went into cover, it'd go into a third person.
That's how that worked. Because I got the new one for free with the PlayStation Plus deal.
Yep.
And it didn't do that, or it felt it did that. I'm like, I don't remember the other one being like this. I would prefer that game as a third person action adventure game as opposed to a first person.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or just have it either just be one or the other. I don't care for the switching in and out.
Sure. Well, I feel like there was another game that did that, but they did it much better. I can't.
Rainbow
think
Six Vegas.
Sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, nothing.
Have you played this new Shadow of the Colossus?
Yeah.
What'd they do with the controls? Because I've heard that they're the same.
Well, I mean, as far as they seem the same. Yeah.
What isn't it? Something weird like triangle to jump or something like that.
I think it's X to jump now, actually.
Okay. See, that's the conventional like norm.
Okay, sure.
Nowadays,
it's been so long since I played the other one.
Yeah.
But you still you have to climb up things and
Yeah.
you have to hold the one button while you're stabbing with the other thing, and it's really good. It's the same. I can get through the first boss in about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like I remembered how to do whatever. I showed my little one that game because he likes monsters.
Sure.
And it's kind of cool. So like you're fighting monsters, but then then you get that black shit comes out of them and goes in you. I'm like, see, you can't hurt people. So yeah. Otherwise, nothing really. So you gotta pick it up though. It's good.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna grab it. Probably, I don't know. Probably sometime this weekend, I assume.
Yeah. Otherwise, you and I have been playing a game a couple times.
Yes. So we finally got to play Dead by Daylight together.
Yes. And it's fun. It is fun. We got to see, obviously, the pig.
Yep.
We saw Freddy.
Finally saw Freddy.
Yep.
I hadn't faced Freddy the entire time I've had the game until we played together.
Yep.
And that is very difficult.
Yeah, that
very,
was tough.
very difficult.
We saw the hillbilly. We saw the doctor. We saw
the huntress.
The huntress. I've seen her.
Or the bunny lady.
Every time I've sat down to play, I've seen the bunny lady and the pig lady every time. The last time when I played by myself, I got to see the shape.
See, I still have not faced the shape.
Yeah.
That was like the one I really want to face out of all of them.
Sure.
But
yeah, I faced him once, and that was pretty cool. Man, that game's it's tough though. When I started playing it, the second time I played it, I got taken out in the first 30 seconds. It's like, why is it always by me?
Yeah, I feel like it is one of those games where it's really hard when you first jump into it, but then as you learn how the game works, I think it gets easier and more rewarding as you play.
And we also had some weird things where they let that one guy let you activate everything, and then he killed you before you left.
Yeah.
So you both got tons of points.
Yo.
And then the other one let us just all leave. I don't know what the deal was with that one where we all made it out.
Yeah, that was one against the pig too.
I don't understand why those things happen.
Yeah.
And
because the game is really about the points.
Yeah.
Not so much surviving.
So I think maybe to stop that, you'd have to if the killer doesn't kill everybody, they don't get any points.
Oh.
And if the survivors don't survive, they don't get any points.
Oh.
So you get points for doing things, but you don't get them unless you get out. So maybe
see, I think that's a little bit.
What if they cap it then? So the most you can get is 1,000 points if you don't survive, and the most you can get as a killer if you don't. You get 1,000 per person, but if you get everybody, you get the rest of your bonuses for doing anything else.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know. It just seems like all these asymmetrical multiplayer games is just too easy to manipulate and they just do stupid shit like that. So I don't know. I think that you just play it to have fun, and hopefully you'll run into not dumb games with people that are doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice that they're trying to help you get points. It's just I just want to play it.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing we ran into is something that they need to fix is when you're playing with friends, you have to re-invite them every single time.
I mean, unless I was doing something wrong. But every time I would hit circle to go spend points, it would kick us out of our group.
Right.
It's was this rank mode? What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, they even have that option in the main menu, survive with friends. Yeah. And then it's play on your own.
Maybe they think people are just going to play around and then just quit playing it.
Maybe.
I don't know. But, for the most part, it's fun. I think it's better executed as far as it's just general gameplay than Friday the 13th, but I think Friday the 13th is a little bit better.
Yeah, it gives you more options. And so each round isn't, or each match isn't so stagnant.
Yeah.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't ever feel like it's not fun in Dead by Daylight, just fixing the generators, trying to escape.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, with the different killers, there's just different strategies you use. So that changes it up. And, yeah, I don't know. With the maps being so big in Friday the 13th, it's, I think matches go on a little bit too long. They can.
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice if you didn't survive, you could leave.
Yeah.
And still get what you get.
Yeah.
You know, that would make that game better.
Well, that is, yeah, I think that's the best thing about Dead by Daylight is that you don't have to stick around an entire 15-minute match just to get your points.
Yeah. The one thing I like about Dead by Daylight, though, is they kind of the killers don't have as like the repertoire of maneuvers that Jason has and his different iterations, like zipping around the map and that stuff, you know, which makes sense because the maps are so huge.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, that's why you have that or whatever, but it's kind of nice that you can outsmart, you know, one of the killers by just maneuvering in a certain way, whereas Jason can see through walls and shit, so you can't once he's got you, you're done. Like it's hard. It's hard to get away from him at that point. Unless you have firecrackers. And even then, he just turns on his see-through ability, and then he can find you. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like how there's different options for you in Friday the 13th. But yeah, I don't know. They're not completely different games, but I feel like they are at the same time. They are.
And despite like Jason, I think like Friday the 13th having a little bit more that I would like, I think I'd still rather play Dead by Daylight just because it is faster.
Yeah. I do like the context-sensitive kills that Jason can do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
The tree. And
slamming your head in the door.
Yep.
That kind of stuff. But yeah.
There was something funny about it too, like, because you could hear Jason talk. And like some people were just hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey boys, it's just, you know. So it was fun that way too. So I give Jason Friday 13th the win between the two solely though on Chad Face. Yeah. Chad Face is the real reason why that Friday 13th wins.
There is a certain cheesiness to Friday the 13th, whereas Dead by Daylight plays it kind of pretty much seriously for the most part. Like, it is like a straight up horror survival game, whereas Friday the 13th you get all those like stupid bugs and Chad Face and all that. Like, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's a dreariness to Dead by Daylight, like a sadness almost to it.
Yeah.
Whereas Friday the 13th feels like an 80s slasher.
Yeah, Friday the 13th feels like a Friday the 13th movie. Yep. And Dead by Daylight feels like a serious horror. I don't want to say serious. I don't really mean serious, but
grittier.
More in line with like a darker horror theme, I guess.
They should bring in the harpy chick from the VHS movies.
Siren,
yes.
Oh, I like that.
And then you just, when she gets close, you just hear, "I like you."
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
What other monsters could we bring in?
Obviously, Pinhead. We talked about this a little bit. But...
Yeah, Pinhead. But any new ones though?
Oh.
And who else could we bring in?
The Lights Out monster.
That would be sweet. So, like, the flashlight would come in handy. Cause if you put the flashlight on her, maybe that's a good weakness. If you hit her with the flashlight, she just gets randomly teleported somewhere.
That would be perfect.
You know, that's her weakness.
And then, you could somehow make it where if one person like kills themselves, everyone else wins.
So basically, the monster is attuned to one person.
Yes.
And if that person can figure out it's them, they can sacrifice themselves for the game.
That's a good idea. Like, you don't know who is the one.
Sure.
How would you figure it out, though?
I don't think they're going to have a game where you can kill yourself. I don't think they'll have that mechanic in that game.
Why not?
I don't think that would pass. Like
Sure it would.
The boards, whoever.
Putting reverse bear traps on people isn't okay,
It's
or
weird.
is okay.
It's weird. It's weird.
Nah.
You can't have you couldn't have like, I mean, there's no like love making video games, right? You can't have a video game where two people make love, right? But you can have a video game.
What are you talking about? Of course.
What are you talking about?
The Witcher 3? Any of the Witcher games?
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is like there's like an actual like you have like buttons to press.
Grand Theft Auto?
Is there what?
There's like button presses and
Really?
maybe not. God of War.
God of War had like a rhythm
Quick
game.
time attempt.
Yeah,
quick time
event.
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah. But yeah, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I think the suicide button might be a little too taboo for the video game industry still.
Whatever. Do it.
But it'd be
Do it.
interesting for that monster.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to go with movies from last year, what about Don't Breathe, that guy?
Oh, the blind guy?
Oh, he attacks me with a turkey baster.
Turkey baster special move.
Oh. So he just tries to impregnate everybody. It's not a hook. It's that thing he strapped that girl.
Oh, like the harness. And,
the harness thing.
Yeah.
God, that fucking movie. But what else? I'm just. You could do
Get
the
Out?
classics. You could
Get Out.
I didn't see it. I didn't see the movie.
It would just be like a white guy being like, "Give me your black body."
All right. What else? I had one. Oh, you could do like Dracula, and and it's like a graveyard or a castle grounds.
That is something that Dead by Daylight doesn't have, is a vampire character.
Yeah. Maybe you could do the main vampire from the movie Vampires.
Ed Wood?
No, that's he was the hunter. Who played the vampire?
Is that his name, Ed Woods?
No, it's not Ed Woods. What's that guy's name?
Something Woods.
It's not Ed Wood. Ed Wood isn't Ed Wood that B director?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's fuck. My brother makes fun of us every time we do this, by the way.
Harry Woods?
No, Harry Woods.
Frank Woods?
No. I can see his face.
Yes.
He was in Casino.
Al Woods? James Woods.
James Woods.
Yes, that is it.
Nope, that's not it either.
Oh, what?
I'm just kidding. That's him.
Okay. I was right. James L. Woods.
Yeah, I mean, so he plays the hunter, but you can have like that kind of a vampire dude.
Yeah.
Who else? The Mummy, and do like an Egyptian level, like a desert.
Yeah.
Where it's like, and it's hard. It's the Mummy's slow moving, but there's less places to hide because it's like a desert.
Yeah. You could do all the Universal monsters. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Obviously, the werewolf.
Frankenstein's monster. Wolverine.
What? What? You could do Spawn.
Oh, that'd be good.
You know, you could do a Spawn one where he's trying to get you because you're criminals and you're in his alley fucking with the bums or something.
Do like a. Oh, okay. So this would be more of like a Payday crossover.
Oh, okay.
Payday 3 Spawn Edition. You heard it here first.
Time out though. Shifting gears. Dead by Daylight is a fun jaunt, and it's a good little. Hey, I want to sit down and maybe get a pop scare here and there.
Yep.
But with the Spawn movie, hopefully up and running here, maybe we get a new Spawn video game.
Ooh.
Maybe it's a little more spooky.
What if Rocksteady made a Spawn game?
Who's Rocksteady?
They made the Batman Arkham games.
That would be okay. I'd also who made the prototype game?
Activision.
I would like to see prototype.
Someone from.
Because I'd like to see
an
open world.
No, you
want to
put Spawn in the hands of the people that made the prototype games.
You didn't like prototypes?
They're okay, but they're mediocre at best.
I liked them. I hate open world games.
No.
Well,
No.
I don't mind open world games,
No.
but I liked those ones because they reminded me of being like Venom or something, like the way your powers were.
Sure.
So it kind of felt like Venom and zombies. And so I liked the prototype games.
I don't know. I guess it's just because of how good Infamous is.
What if they did it?
Sucker Punch?
Sucker Punch.
I'd be down with that. They're doing Spider-Man.
Ooh, that could be good.
So why not?
I've seen the prototype games, or I mean not prototype, Infamous games played.
Yep.
I played a little bit of one of them. I don't have any interest really, but I will admit that they are finely crafted games. And a Spider-Man game in that, and by them I could see.
Wait. Spider-Man is being made by Insomniac.
Did they do Bayonetta?
No, they did Ratchet and Clank.
Oh.
And Resistance.
Oh.
What do you mean? Oh, Resistance is fucking top notch.
Yep. If the top notch is underneath my feet and in the ground, dumb.
No, man, Resistance is way underrated.
It's no kill zone.
No kill zone. Guerrilla could make now that they've got their feet wet in the whole open world genre, they could do a Spawn open world game.
Sure.
I'd be down with that.
I think either Rocksteady, Guerrilla would be good. But it'd be kind of cool to do like a Rocksteady, like where he's got to do because he does kind of he could do more investigative stuff. But it'd be kind of cool if they do they stick to the books and have it is it like an origin whole thing where it's how he becomes Spawn and progresses until like the last fight is against Violator, then the next game he goes after a different villain, or do you put all the villains in there?
I think just do it like the Batman games, like have your own standalone story.
Mm-hmm.
You're already Batman.
Yeah.
You're already Spawn, I should say.
So he fights the Violator.
Yep.
What's that big cyber guy? Overkill. Overkill, I think is what he was called. He could fight the Redeemer, who was Jason Wynn. Jason Wynn picked up by some heaven satellite and turned into a anti-Spawn. Angela.
Anti-Spawn?
Yeah. Have you ever seen Anti-Spawn?
No.
You've never seen the Redeemer?
No.
Oh,
wait. Is the Redeemer like the big horned?
No, that's a different monster. The Redeemer he looks like. Okay, I'll find him.
Yeah.
I gotta show you a picture. He's pretty cool looking. But yeah, so I want to see that now. I want to see. I think I'd like to see them do it Rocksteady.
Did you know tomorrow, as in Thursday, and you, if you're listening or watching this, will have already seen it. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's the Redeemer. And that's actually Jason Wynn, the guy that kills Al Simmons, or gets Al Simmons killed.
Oh, yeah?
He's the guy that calls the hit on him.
Because
cool. Al Simmons works for Jason Wynn. Then Jason Wynn has Cable kill Al. Or not, did I say Cable?
Yeah.
Chapel.
Ah.
He has Chapel kill Spawn.
Cool. Well, anyways, so tomorrow, Thursday, you'll have already seen it if you're listening, watching. They're releasing the first Venom trailer.
I thought they already had one.
Nope.
I've seen stuff with him being Venom, though, and talking.
I think that's fake trailers.
Oh. What?
I've seen those too. They're not real.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are those?
They're like fan-made. They take pieces of other movies that seem to fit.
That's what I was wondering why he was wearing a Bane costume, and that's.
But yeah, so tomorrow we'll get the new Venom trailer. Hopefully we'll get to see what they've done with Venom, what he's going to look like. Hopefully not 100% CGI.
Oh, it's going to be
I know.
100.
I know it is.
And 10% CGI.
I know it is. Yeah, if if Superman is, God damn it, if Spider-Man is anything to go off of, yes, it'll be 110% CGI.
Maximum effort.
Maximum or Carnage is also going to be CGI, I'm sure, and it's going to be all kinds of crappy.
Man, they should have made this movie in the 90s.
Which is going to suck because Carnage is such a cool character, and they're going to ruin him just like Doomsday.
The man upstairs is currently penning a letter to the editor talking about how Carnage is a one-dimensional, not good character.
Okay, one-dimensional. Look at fucking Superman. Superman is the most one-dimensional
I'm starting a fight.
character in all of comics history. Superman can do everything, can't be killed by anything besides kryptonite, you can argue. But so what? So what? What else is there to him? Oh, he has to struggle with his identity. Oh, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo, Superman.
His entire species was wiped out.
Oh, boo-hoo.
I mean, that's kind of tough.
What about Supergirl? Huh?
Sounds like his cousin or something.
Yeah. Oh, I thought his whole family was wiped out. His whole race was wiped out.
Okay, so if you survived, like
a few survived. Maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 100. I don't know. Maybe there's 1,000 of them out there. Maybe a million. I don't know. Could be.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Dumb. Superman is dumb.
I don't mind Superman.
I don't either. I just think he's dumb.
I think it would be tough to have all that power and all that responsibility.
If they just kept Superman a commie, scum, sure, he'd be interesting.
You should read, I think it's called Irredeemable, and it's not Superman, but it's Superman.
Is that where Superman goes around and kills everyone?
Yeah, he finally snaps.
Yeah.
And it's there's actually a one where he does kind of snap. I'll just leave it at that, but it's called like Superman Unleashed or something? No. What is that? Superman. I'll figure it out. But yeah, there's actually one you should check out.
See, that's interesting. That makes it forces Superman to be interesting. Whereas he can't just be interesting on his own. Something crazy has to happen to him.
Well, yeah, he's a superhero. Something super has to happen.
Yeah, but I feel like there's so many characters like Wolverine where, I mean, he has the whole, like, they took him and they put all the adamantium in his body, made his skeleton adamantium.
Yeah.
And now he can live forever. Or not forever, but...
All-Star Superman?
You know what I mean. Wolverine is a deep, multi-layered character.
Really? Wolverine? He's not just pissed off and
he gets
rage.
mad and smokes cigars.
Yeah.
Shoots claws out of his hands.
I used to think that, but I feel like...
I think it's easier to write an anti-hero than it is to write a Boy Scout. I think it's harder to be a Boy Scout
Clearly.
than it is to be a anti-hero. It's way easier to be an anti-hero.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Because they're all so good.
Well, are you implying that the Boy Scouts are bad?
Badly written.
Well, that's not true.
Boring. Look, Batman is the best superhero
Superhero.
of them all. And he is an anti-hero.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
He doesn't kill anybody.
So?
So he's not really an anti-hero.
Why not?
I guess he would be the epitome of anti-heroes because he's got that like dark grittiness to him, but he doesn't kill anybody. I think he might have killed people in the like early era, like when they first started writing him or something. Then they had to soften him up.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mind but I don't know. Wolverine's
That's a lie.
pretty
Carnage
cool.
is the best superhero of them all.
He's not a superhero. He's a super villain.
Super villains.
Yeah, I didn't mind Carnage when I was growing up. Maximum Carnage.
Heck yeah. I played it on the SNES.
Cool.
Or maybe Sega. I can't remember. One of the two.
It's a great game.
It is.
I liked it a lot. Did you ever play Separation Anxiety?
No.
Okay.
Is that a Carnage game?
Yeah, well, it's a symbiote game, so you fight all the symbiotes,
Oh.
like Lasher and...
So do you play as Venom?
Yeah, you can play as Venom.
Oh. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you know who wrote Maximum Carnage?
No.
Todd McFarlane.
Oh, cool. Well, Todd McFarlane came up with the original design of Venom, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Well, there's one other thing. I watched a movie.
Oh!
You watched the end of this movie.
I did.
Killing of a Sacred Deer. It's weird.
Yep.
Very weird. Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman. I mean, it's not really horror, but it's so uncomfortable to watch that it fits into, if you like horror movies, you'll probably get into it. It's just so bizarre the way that the acting is, the way the dialogue.
I was wrong. He didn't write it.
Who, Todd McFarlane?
No.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying wrote that game?
No, I thought he wrote Maximum Carnage. He might have done some of the art, maybe.
Oh. I thought we were wondering if Todd McFarlane came up with the Venom design, the original Venom design.
Venom or Carnage?
Venom. But in any case, Killing of a Sacred Swan, the way the dialogue is delivered, it's very straightforward and it doesn't sound like normal people talking. It's not the way normal people talk. And it's got this crazy plot about this kid's dad was killed by Colin Farrell on the operating table, and now he's seeking revenge. But is it really him doing this crap? I don't know. But I would say if you're into something, if you want to check out something weird,
Yeah.
and not really something you see every day, then check out Killing of a Sacred Deer. It's interesting.
Yes, it is.
And
But we
that
don't talk like
brings
this.
us to the news, because there is one other thing that I watched.
Let's hear it.
So if you were watching the Super Bowl this past Sunday,
Oh.
you may have seen that the third entry in the Cloverfield universe was premiered. They had a commercial during the Super Bowl, and then it was available on Netflix immediately after the Super Bowl wrapped up. As Eagles fans in Philadelphia were tearing their city apart,
Doesn't make any sense.
the Cloverfield Paradox was unleashed.
I'm so happy that my team won. Let's flip a car over.
Yeah. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. What about Cloverfield, though? Was that embarrassing?
It wasn't embarrassing, but I feel like this was their opportunity to really tie everything together. And in a way they did. I mean, I ended up watching the trailer after I had seen the movie, and they go like, you'll finally find out like how it all started.
We already know how it all started. It's in the last scene of the movie, where they're on the loop-de-loop ride, and you see that thing just go in the water.
Exactly. So they pull the whole, well, we opened up this multi-dimensional tear in the fabric of time, and all these monsters got unleashed upon the world.
That's what they pulled?
Yes. So, Cloverfield Paradox takes place in space.
What?
And the Earth is running out of resources.
Mm-hmm.
So they decide to go up into space and have this particle accelerator that will presumably create endless sustainable energy.
Oh, the perpetual motion machine that they've...
I don't know. It's a particle accelerator.
Sure.
So they fire this thing up, and it ends up ripping a hole in space-time.
Mm-hmm.
They go into this alternate reality where the Earth is there, but they're like way on the other side of the sun. And then on Earth, there's a monster.
Just monster?
Yes. So, okay. Spoilers, I guess. Bit too late for that, but I should ask you, do you care?
No, I already don't like that it was that you said that they ripped a hole in the time.
Yeah, so that's complete cheating. Like, that's just a fucking cop-out right off the bat. Like, okay, you can do anything then. None of this means anything because, explain it away with it's just another dimension. It's another universe.
I've played Doom before.
Yeah, it's fine. But what they do is they have they're coming in the escape pod back down to Earth. Perfect opportunity to show it fallen, and in the background show like Coney Island, the Ferris wheel and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would be like total fan service to be like, you remember that thing from Cloverfield? You saw it in the background. You may have seen it split second in the background.
Yeah.
Well, this is that. That's that right there. But no. Instead, it falls into the clouds, and up pops a giant version of the first Cloverfield monster.
What?
Yeah. So now that first Cloverfield monster is now gigantic.
It was already gigantic.
Yeah, but now it like goes up into the sky.
So
it's so big it peaks up above the clouds. Like above the clouds.
So is this a sequel?
No, that's the thing. There's all these different dimensions.
Oh, that's so dumb.
So like the main character, her kids have died in a fire, and
from the monster,
no, she used some kind of counterfeit battery because they don't have the Earth was dying or something. And so she used this counterfeit battery to power their night lights or something so they could read at night. Caught the house on fire. They died.
So there was no mention of there being an energy issue in the original movie, was there?
No. That's the thing. It takes place in a different reality.
Wait. So, there's Cloverfield.
Yep.
There's Cloverfield Lane. And those two are related.
No.
They're not related.
No.
But they're not related.
The whole point of it is this firing up the particle accelerator created all these. It opened up the portals for these monsters to come into the different realities. So it is the catalyst for why the events in all these
are happening on these different worlds.
Yes. But it's the same world as Earth. It's just different realities. Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah. So it is like
Who wrote this?
I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
But that's the thing, like, they're taking these movies that were not created as Cloverfield movies and turning them into Cloverfield movies because they can just say, oh, it's just a different reality. Oh, the monster's not the same. Oh, it's just a different reality where a different monster has come out of the portal. Whatever. Completely disregard the completely awesome idea of the Cloverfield monster has been hibernating beneath the ocean bed, and then they're mining for the slusho drink ingredients, and that causes the monster to come up. Like, that is a freaking badass origin story. And they got to ruin it with this whole interdimensional nonsense.
That's because it was based on a different movie completely.
Yeah, it was God Particle
Yeah.
originally, and then they turned it into the Cloverfield Paradox. So it's really disappointing in that regard, where it's like you have this chance to really tie these movies together, and instead you do this complete cop-out move where now anything is possible. Anything.
Oh, so this is even set like way after.
It's set in 2028.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch this.
It's not a bad movie. It's just the fact that they completely missed the opportunity to make this universe really interesting and pay off all the fan theories and everything they've teased through the alternate reality game they've done online. Like, that was the biggest part of the original Cloverfield. Like, I got so into the online component, like the websites and all of that. And that was so cool to like be caught up in this mystery that everyone is speculating about and theorizing about. And then they just go and do this crap.
Turd. Yep.
It's like, why?
Why? Yeah, it's a turd.
So this was released on Netflix, and they've already come out and said this is all, like, future Cloverfield movies are going to be released in theaters. Like, it seems like they kind of just wanted to dump this one, like, make their money, all that. Because apparently Netflix bought this thing for $50 million.
Oops.
So they instantly made a profit, the studio. Just like that. So, but I think the head of whatever has said that, yeah, future Cloverfield movies are going to be released theatrically. So,
Neat.
we'll see, because we've now got a 5th Cloverfield movie rumored. We just found out about number 4, Overlord. And now Colma is the newest. Number 5. Apparently this takes place in Israel in 20... something weird, like this guy gets killed in a car crash and then he's in the afterlife or some... I don't know. And then that happened in 2007, and the actual majority of the movie takes place in like 2057. I don't know. But in any case, Cloverfield 5, Colma. I know, it just really, it ruins it when you find out that all this doesn't matter. It's not going to be connected in some cool way. It's all just interdimensional, alternate realities where anything can happen. So disappointing.
Garbage.
Yep. So we had talked about a little bit earlier the sinking of Cloverfield and Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
And I guess can't remember if it's like 18 minutes into the movie when they fire up the particle accelerator in Cloverfield Paradox. At the exact same time you first hear like the monster noises in Cloverfield. So it's kind of like works out perfectly where fires up, tears the hole in space-time, and then there's the Cloverfield monster. So that's what that is.
Well, that's also dumb.
Why?
Why would that happen?
What do you mean, why would that happen?
Because we saw the fucking alien pod hit the water weeks before that happened.
Oh, at the end?
Yeah.
You don't know if that was a pod, though.
What else was it?
The space capsule from
of the monster.
Cloverfield Station.
No, that's not what happened. This is stupid. Paradox doesn't exist. Next.
No.
I'm done with this. Makes me mad.
So we now know that the next Purge movie is going to be called The First Purge. Originally, it was The Purge the Island. Purge the Island, I think, was what it was originally called.
Okay.
Now it is called The First Purge. Obviously, a prequel going back to the very first Purge that they initiated. So, yeah. I like the Purge movies. I think they're good. And it'll be cool to see like the very first, how people took it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't care.
What they're doing, it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of like a little bit cringy. Is they're using the whole like Donald Trump imagery and all that. Like they have the red hat that says the first Purge.
Sure.
So it's kind of like,
So-
okay, come on.
So we already had a TV show do that.
Oh, yeah, American Horror Story. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, we all know Trump is not that good of a president. Let's move on. Let's... Like, how much can you do, really, with Trump is the worst person ever, and he's going to create the purge, and you're all going to die?
I don't know. It just seems like so on the nose.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's too easy. Like, come on. Be a little more creative than that. But,
Ugh.
yeah.
You got any more news?
One more.
Let-
Capcom has issued a challenge.
To
Anyone that can prove that monsters are real. So, in celebration of... Huh?
I said, I win.
Celebration of Monster Hunting... Oh, you. Of Monster Hunter crossing the 5 million marker.
Yeah.
Units
Best
pushed
game
on the
ever
market.
made.
Yeah, they're doing this contest where if you can prove that... I think it's out of 10 monsters. I assume Bigfoot, Loch Ness, aliens maybe? I don't know.
Well,
They're not really monsters, though.
Well, what constitutes the monster?
Chupacabra?
Chupacabra. Because didn't they just find bacteria on the outside of the space station?
I don't know. Did they?
I thought I read something about that.
I thought they found some kind of bacteria on, like, the water in Mars.
Probably.
Some sort of organism. Perhaps.
The ice cap summers, yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. But whatever. $70,000 if you can have concrete evidence that one of the 10 monsters exists.
Let's see that list.
But you don't have long. June 30th is the cutoff point.
Bigfoot turns himself in, gets 70 grand.
Yeah, so you have, what is that? 5 months? 4 months? 4 months to prove what people have been trying to prove for decades. So good luck. I suppose with and the camera just cut out. So battery's dead. So
All right.
bye.
We both just waved at a camera that's not working.
Oh, we're tired.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I don't know. With the technology today, who knows? Who knows what they might find out there? But I don't think they'll find it in 4 months. But they might. Who knows? That's all I got. You got anything?
2 Charlie Manson movies are coming out.
I saw that. It's like so hard to keep track of what's all being done.
Yeah, so I liked Doctor Who, and seeing that Matt Smith is going to be playing Charlie Manson's kind of crazy.
Oh, that's the guy?
He was, I don't remember which number doctor he was, and then Hilary Duff will be playing Sharon Tate in separate movies.
Hilary Duff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to verify that. I thought I read it was really Duff. The thing is on bloody disgusting.
I think you're right. Yeah. Hilary Duff. Which, I don't know, she's older now.
Yeah.
Maybe a better actress. Hopefully.
But yeah, that's my only news I saw.
Oh. The Surge 2 has been announced. Now, if you've been a listener for a while now, you know that I'm a big fan of The Surge. It is, it's better than Dark Souls, better than all the Souls games, better than Neo, and now we're getting
Bullshit!
We're getting a sequel. It
It's
is
not
like
better.
100 times better than any Dark
No,
Souls.
it's not true. It's not true.
And
You're the only person that played it.
I know, so
They're making you a sequel.
You've got to believe me then, because I'm the only one with the evidence, the proof. I don't know, but it sounds like it's going to be really cool, where they're expanding on the limb cutting mechanic. So I'm hoping that there's just all kinds of loot you can get. Because it was limited in the first Surge to like arms, chest, head, and legs. So hopefully they'll have like gloves, shoulders, shoes, all kinds of stuff.
But it's a bad game.
Just more loot.
It's
It's going to be great.
Stupid game.
Sounds like they're going to
Dark Souls is better.
make it more into like a Dark Souls, like interwoven,
Sure.
connected world, which will be cool because
I have to play that. I actually play the first. I played the demo. That was the only thing I played of it. And so I really have I can't weigh in on that at all. So maybe it is better than Dark Souls 3. The best Souls game out there.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if you can get used to the combat.
Sure.
Because it's a little more heavy than the Dark Souls games.
Which I find odd that you like that better, because you didn't like how heavy the Dark Souls games were, but liked how Bloodborne was like quick and
Yeah, 100%, but
110% even.
110%. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's the fact that you can really stagger enemies.
Okay.
Well, some enemies, but then it's the whole limb cutting. you target their weak areas and cut them apart.
And it aims it for you, so you don't have to like point your character towards it to attack.
Yes, you can select individual limbs and their head and their legs, and you don't have to just face their direction and then oops, the monster moved. Now you're swiping into thin air.
Yeah,
You got to roll in order to reset your attack.
Yeah, you better.
Yep, because I was made in the 1998.
Well, it's like 2000 something. I don't know when the first Monster Hunter came out.
Yeah, but this is not the first Monster Hunter.
No, I know, but it's that cheese or the charm that you don't get rid of it. You don't fix that. That combat is why people like that game.
I disagree.
Then why do they like it?
Because they're too dumb to know any better.
Well, I mean, obviously, but they like that combat. It's bad, sure, but they like it.
I don't believe that anyone likes that combat because of that, because you can't target.
No, they like the combat because it's fun. I mean, it's fun. I mean, I don't know how to...
It's fun because you have to fix the game yourself.
Well, you have to play the game.
You have to play the game in a way that fixes bad game design.
Well, is it bad game design if everybody likes it? I mean, I suppose it could be. Everybody likes Skyrim, and that was bad game design.
No. It's not okay. It's not okay for them to do this.
Why?
Because you're making your consumer correct things that you should have corrected yourself, the developer.
So you think that it would be more fun to just lock onto the monster and hit a button over and over again?
Yes.
As opposed to trying to skillfully position yourself in a way that you are going to do the most and maximum damage.
Okay, so you can
asking.
can lock on to enemies in Dark Souls.
You can lock on enemies in Monster Hunter as well.
But it doesn't do any good because the whole point of the game is to knock off specific parts.
Well, if you're playing with a weapon that's good for that, like you shouldn't be doing that with your double. You should be worried.
I cut off tails all the time.
You should know what you should be doing is worrying about trying to affect status effects on these monsters, making them fall asleep, paralyzing them, because you do tons of damage. So you can just sit there and build up all those icky status effects. Whereas like great swords like me, let me take care of the tails.
I cut off plenty of tails.
I'm just saying maybe if you did that, it might like it more.
And
then you can just attack them.
That's the only way I can play the game is playing the dual swords is because I have to just hack and slash because...
You don't want to learn how to time attacks with big weapons?
No, because it's slow and boring.
I love it.
It's so slow. It's such a boring game. I will admit... I enjoy it, but it is so boring.
Well, there's nothing. Yeah, there's no like real story or anything like that.
It's not even that. It's the game is boring.
It's a boss fight. The game,
and they're so boring. The boss fights are so boring. The monsters are so boring to fight.
Really?
Yes.
I like fighting them.
It's fine.
You have to learn You have to learn their patterns.
It's a fine game, but it's so boring.
You got to track them down first.
Oh, that's the worst. When your scout flies don't go in the right direction or disappear.
Did you pick up enough of their tracks?
Yes. They go around in circles because the levels are built in such a haphazard up, down, and through the coral design. It's like... Okay, now I'm going up, but now the scout flies are going down because I can't tell which way is what because the level design is so fucking terrible. Ugh. It's a great game.
It's a game of the year for me.
What a joke. It is a good game, though.
What's next? What do you got there? Is that the book?
Yeah.
You got the book there? Yeah, right on time.
Yeah.
This is going to be quick.
All right, so this is, in fact, part 2 of our original versus remake.
It's the thrilling conclusion.
Are you ready to trademark?
What? You're going to get sued.
I didn't say there was a rumble. I didn't say that word.
No. That's good. All right. Let's do this.
This episode's thrilling conclusion is 2016's Inside Remake.
Can I sum this up real quick so
Nope.
we can go home?
Starring Rachel Nichols as Sarah, Laura Haring as the woman. It's written by Jaime Balaguero and Manu Diaz. It's directed by Miguel Angel Vivas. First of all, don't see this fucking movie.
No! Boy, you just started right off the bat. Hooey!
Just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
It starts with some statistics coming up on the screen. Kidnapped babies are a thing, and 9 out of 10 women don't survive their baby snatchings. And then we get to the good old driving. Sarah's driving with her husband, Matt. It's nighttime, raining. They're having this conversation about naming the baby, I believe. They drop the Beatrice name. I assume, I hope, referencing Beatrice doll from the original. And then, boom, you get
Gymnastics.
a car doing gymnastics. So it's a head-on collision. Sarah's car does a front flip over the car she hits and then rolls like 100 times. Like it's not like a car crash and then the car rolls like you've seen that. This is like the car does a freaking 1080 barrel roll.
Well, even more. I mean, the thing spins for ever.
Yeah, it spins like a top.
It's not. So, yep. Yep, it does.
And then hits the ground and then rolls a bunch of more. Does some cartwheels. Then lands upside down. Then we get to Sarah inside the car. Not a scratch on her.
Her ear's bleeding.
Her ear is bleeding.
No, and she's deaf now.
Now she's deaf. See, I couldn't tell. I saw the blood, but I couldn't tell if there was already something in her ear, like if she was already deaf. But I'll go with if she, just so she'll take some damage in this ridiculous Die Hard crash. Like this is what you see when Bruce Willis is flipping his car into a helicopter.
It is an action movie sequence because first it's a head-on collision. They're going probably 50 something, and then there was no airbag deployment.
No airbags.
Nothing. Is just car flipped. I mean, it was the car. No, it didn't. No.
See, and in the original,
You don't see the crash.
You don't see the crash. You see the aftermath, and Sarah is fucked up. Like, blood is just oozing out of her mouth, and she's messed up.
I'm just gonna get this out of the way. This movie is not nearly as graphic as the original. Not in the slightest.
The entire movie is a sterilized version of the original.
I mean, we have a new Martyrs remake.
Oh yeah, yes.
And so what I want to do now, I want to get through this because there's an important question.
Okay.
At the end of this.
Okay.
So let's get through this.
All right.
I mean, it is essentially the same movie. I mean, most of
essentially.
So what I want to hit is essential, the things that weren't the same.
Okay, so Sarah, we mentioned, is deaf.
Yep.
In this movie, she has a hearing aid that she can turn up, turn down, take out.
Yep. And so that changes the dynamic of a lot of things that happen, but they generally happen the same.
Yes. I think a big difference is in the original, Sarah doesn't seem to want the baby, is way too traumatized from the loss of Matt.
She seems to be she seems to. Yeah,
she's almost like given up.
Yeah, she's like very non-interested in this baby. It seems at first.
Yeah.
This woman is happy about her baby coming.
And she's completely fine. Yeah. I mean, she doesn't drive anymore.
Yep. I mean, that she still struggles with the accident, I'm sure. But the idea of the baby is bringing her some solace.
Yeah, but there is a moment where she's like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, she does have one small moment of like
doubt,
but otherwise she's completely fine. Like, she's not messed up from the accident. She's doesn't have any scars, nothing like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the original Sarah, still has cuts, scars and all that, and yeah, she hates her life.
Yeah, that's how. So the movie is that part of that aspect is way more gloomy in the French version.
And instead of, so the original is set to the backdrop is riots going on in Paris. I don't remember if there was any mention of why the riots. Oh, there was. Wasn't it some young people were killed?
I don't remember.
I think that's what it was. But so in this one, there is no riots. The backdrop now is it's Christmas.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
So do we consider this a Christmas horror movie then?
I don't think it deserves to be put in any sort of jolly Christmas lists.
It's closer to a Christmas movie than a horror movie.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. This is the epitome of if Lifetime dipped their toes into horror, this might be what it ends up being. But
the Lifetime execs got drunk. And
I feel like even Lifetime would go darker than this movie.
Yeah.
So Sarah lives in this new neighborhood, this new development neighborhood. That's kind of an important piece of it. It doesn't play a factor in the original. The original doesn't have this, but events in the movie, the fact that it takes place in this newer development area does come into play. So that's worth mentioning.
Sure. We have the scene here where the pregnant lady character, Sarah, is hanging out with her friend. In the original, it was some old guy that was her boss, and this one, it's a neighbor.
Yep. She kind of interacts with her. You don't really.
She has a phone call with her mother.
But in the original, you actually meet the mom beforehand.
Yeah.
She's still a photographer in this remake.
Yep.
Instead of having the dark room and having all the pictures of Matt, Like the original, there's a scene where she's just like flipping through her camera, looking at pictures. So that's a similarity, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Instead of a cat, she has a dog.
Yep.
The introduction of the woman, it's kind of the same, but there isn't that part where she takes the camera and takes a picture of her.
Yeah. There isn't that. I don't even think she's a... Yeah, there isn't that. Nope. She doesn't... And you don't have the scene where she punches the glass or hits the glass or something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's... the entire... See, I feel like there's so much more style and so much atmosphere with the original, with the introduction of the woman, just everything.
It definitely has a better, it definitely has a darker atmosphere. This, like that whole movie feels dark from beginning to end. Whereas like this one, you get glimpses of like a light, a little bit lighter side.
You can pretty much tell that this is going to have a happy ending.
We called it.
Yeah.
We called it.
But nothing could prepare me for what eventually happens. So there's the same thing with the cops showing up and they leave and they'll say someone else will come later. But instead of having that cool moment like the original where you see in the background as the audience the woman enter the house while Sarah's talking to the police, that doesn't happen. In the remake, Sarah is dumb enough to leave keys to her house outside in the mailbox. So that is how the woman gets inside the house. She gets in the house, kills the dog.
Well,
off screen.
Yep, off screen, kills the dog. Then goes through the effort of getting her ready for a C-section. Like gets her a drip. And like anesthetic and all this and that. Like she's gonna do like an actual cesarean section, not just scissor her open.
Yeah, and as we were watching this, you said that makes more sense, and I disagreed. I think it makes way less sense to have. I mean, maybe it's the tone though, because I feel like with Beatrice Doll's woman just going in there with the scissors, it shows that she's
crazy.
Crazy person.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's like, yeah, she might be crazy trying to take the baby, but she's clear-headed enough to go through this process of making sure that Sarah is fine when she takes the baby. It's like, what kind of suspense is that? If she's not worried about killing Sarah, that's not what you're worried about.
Well, maybe part of her suffering is that she has to live knowing that her baby's gone.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, that wasn't my idea. My idea was that if she does it as professionally as possible, there's a better chance of the baby surviving the encounter.
Sure.
That's why I said it made more sense. It's like, oh, if she does it like as professionally as she can, then there's a better chance. The chances for the baby to survive were better.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was why I thought it was like it made more sense.
Sure. I just think it cheapens the character where, like, it's that insanity that the original's woman's character had, where it's like anything could happen because she's nuts. Yeah. And this one, it's just like, oh, well, I guess she's not that crazy.
Yeah.
She just wants the baby. I don't know. It's
No, I agree.
dumb.
Yeah, it's less visceral, or maybe that's not the word, but it's less aggressive or gritty or abrasive.
So she hooks her up to the IV. One question I had, she like ties some gauze around her wrist. What was that for?
Was she trying to restrain her to the bed?
No.
Trying to get a vein to pop? Well, that would have been around the arm, though. Not around the wrist. I don't know why she did that.
Yeah.
Oh, unless she was using that to keep the IV in. Because you know how they put a piece of tape, usually? When you get an IV, they tape it down. So maybe she was using the gauze to keep it down?
But I don't think she put it in her hand. She put it up in her, like...
Forearm?
Forearm, yeah.
Then I have no idea why that was there.
The only conclusion I could come to is that it was solely a plot device because it comes into when she gets into the bathroom, then she leaves a trail of gauze. Or
was she doing something with that gauze when she was interrupted from the process?
No,
Because didn't
I don't think so.
Didn't the cops come or something?
I don't think so.
I can't remember.
Because she just kind of leaves her there with the IV drip going.
Then she runs in the bathroom, and then they have a tug of war.
Yep,
with that piece of gauze under the
See,
door.
that's what I'm saying. Like, was that piece of gauze solely there just so they could have that scene?
Probably.
Probably.
can't
I wouldn't
remember.
put it past them, honestly.
What else you got then?
There's the part where she still has the little needle from the IV sticking in her arm.
And pulls that out.
Pulls that out. Give me a little bit of an eeny meeny, little wiggle giggles, little Scooby Doobs.
Nothing like the end of the movie, though. That movie sent you in a full...
Oh, I was
epileptic seizure.
triggered. Oh my God, we'll get there, but Isaac eventually comes.
Yep. Meets the woman, because I think she knocks out Sarah at first. Or no, she's got Sarah locked in the bathroom.
And Sarah, her hearing aid is like dying.
Yes, and she does get out. Goes in the bedroom to like find a new battery or something. But Isaac is leaving, and then the woman says, "Oh, she didn't tell you she was putting it up for adoption, blah blah blah." He's like, "What?" And he thought that was kind of weird. And then the mother showed up, and she's like, "Who are you?" And maybe you should say who you are. I'm the mom. And then the woman gets kind of creepy. Then he goes. Then mom goes upstairs, gets stabbed by her daughter, like in the original.
Yeah, but except knitting needle going through her neck, all the way through the neck.
You're gonna have to watch that again. I don't think that happened.
It did happen, guaranteed. I almost made myself pass out. Put too much pressure on my neck.
Don't do that. But and then yeah, there's that.
Yeah, stabs her with a piece of the mirror.
Yep, and then for whatever reason, Isaac doesn't try to restrain the woman, despite knowing that a woman was trying to break into that lady Sarah's house.
Yep.
He just goes upstairs to see that she stabbed her mom, and then he gets stabbed in the back, and then she runs back in the bathroom, and then his boyfriend calls him, and her husband calls him and says nothing because he doesn't answer it. She just holds the phone and shows him the picture that we saw earlier, and
So before that, the woman tries to get into the bathroom again. When Sarah runs off to the bathroom, she tries to get in, gets her finger slammed in the door, and you get a little gross out scene where she pulls her nail off.
Yeah, she didn't get her face burned though with a torch.
Well,
Didn't get a needle through her arm.
yeah. Then she goes back and. Isaac is still alive, but he's paralyzed because she stabs him in the spine, I guess.
Sure.
So yeah, she shows him the picture of her boyfriend and holds his mouth and nose and basically smothers him till he dies.
Yep.
But gets to see his boyfriend while he's dying. Because she's a nice, crazy person.
I don't know what that meant.
She's a nice, evil person. I think that's what it meant.
Sure.
So that she's
maybe.
giving him a.
I thought it was a threat.
Well, it doesn't matter because she goes over and kills Brian anyways.
That's right.
Well, he's paralyzed. What could he do about it?
She could have been taunting him.
That's too much credit. She's not evil. She's not evil. She wants Sarah to live.
Well, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does. Why else hook her up with an IV?
To ensure the safety of the baby.
Why would an IV ensure the safety of the baby?
To keep fluids in the mom so she doesn't die during everything. And I don't know.
The baby's coming out though.
Sure. Yeah.
So why would it matter if the mom Sarah is still getting fluids?
Because she wants her to be alive knowing that her baby was stolen.
Oh, a revenge.
I said this earlier. I said it might be that.
I don't.
I don't know. I'm
I don't
speculating.
think so. No, you're
speculating.
giving this movie too much credit.
It's just my speculation. It's a
All right.
poor one at that.
So Sarah tries to go out or not really go out the bathroom window. She breaks the bathroom window. And sees Brian, Isaac's boyfriend or husband, in the house next door. Tries waving to him. He sees her and is like, "Oh, I'll text you or give you a call. Like, I see ya. Hi."
And then he gets stabbed.
And then the woman goes over and stabs him. Cuts his neck up, right up. There's the same scene where the woman is like sticking her arm in, but instead of getting the needle jammed in her arm, she just gets a little scratch. Just a little scratch.
Then there's the scene where Sarah's got her arm through the door, but she doesn't get it nailed to a knife to a wall. She just gets it pulled on. And she comes back through.
Yep.
And then the cops show up.
Yep, and there is no criminal in the back seat. The cop, pretty much the same thing happens.
Yeah, so the cop goes in, thinks everything's okay, comes back, and then he realizes that that woman wasn't pregnant, goes back, gets stabbed. Then the other cop goes in. She doesn't know what to do, is freaking out. Thinks the lady did it, blah, blah, blah. Then they go upstairs because Sarah ends up knocking out the woman, but then she comes out of her being knocked out pretty quick, and they go up. Then the power goes out like in the original movie. Then she's going around. They don't waste as much time getting to her killing the second cop as they did in the original.
Yeah.
So I'll applaud them for that. It took for fucking ever for the inevitable. It was just, which is probably, it was driving me nuts. It was like, I know you're going to kill this guy. Just, the tension was like getting to me. It's like, stop.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
And
It's
that,
something that this movie lacks is suspense.
Yep. So this is the only thing they did good in the movie. Well, I mean, it's not good, but like, she gets the second cop. Because she takes the gun off the other cop, shoots this cop in the face. This is the only thing they really showed in the movie.
Yeah. And unlike the original where it blows their entire head apart,
Yeah.
This one is just goes through her eye. Gunshot. Typical PG-13 gunshot through the head.
Yep. And so, but I'll just reveal this right now. That cop doesn't come back to life as a zombie with a stick, though.
No. Unfortunately.
Never. That still to this day, I don't understand what the fuck that was about.
Got his brain fried by the riot gun.
So and his eyeballs were burned out of his head, but you could see enough to beat that woman with a stick, with a baton. I never understood that part of the original. That's a plot hole for me. I don't know if that plot hole is the right word, but it's a what the fuck? You know? But then she goes upstairs, but she doesn't go after her with the gun.
Well, the trademark scissors makes an appearance.
Sure.
She gets the one cop because the one cop comes back and
Well, yeah, they fight down. They fight their. She goes back up. Then they end up fighting each other down the stairs. Then the other cop is trying to radio, so she stabs him in the neck. Comes back over to her, but she whacks her with a flashlight or something.
Yeah, hits her with the flashlight, and then instead of the toaster, that epic toaster hit from the original, she takes her camera and beats her with her camera.
They run outside.
The flash is going off with each hit.
Yep, and then she runs outside, gets in the cop car, radios for help.
Yes, this is where the movie 110% diverges from the original.
Like Martyrs.
So
yes, exactly like Martyrs.
She gets in the car, gets the cop car, radios for help, but then the woman comes in, breaks into the car. They're fighting. She gets the key in the ignition, and they're driving, and they're driving, right? And then they crash into a pole.
Yep.
And they both crash again. And it's like, oh, but Sarah is immune to car crashes.
Yep,
And
not
so
a scratch on her again.
So she gets out, runs into this house that was right next to the crash, which was down the street, but still right across the street.
But
from the house.
in previous establishing shots, this house is directly 110% across the street. Just directly across the street from Sarah's house.
Which is important because when she gets upstairs, she realizes this is where the woman had been hiding and taking pictures of her in her house.
It's her lair.
Yep.
The woman's lair.
Then they fight in there. And the cops come again, but she's in the wrong house and she's locked in there because the lady's got it set up to be locked in.
Because this movie has the doors that lock from the inside with a key.
With a key.
Yeah.
Because the door is locked from the inside. That's the whole
I want to know if anyone in real life that listens to this, or if you know anyone, let us know. Do these doors actually exist in the real world?
With keys on the inside?
With keys on the inside?
Yeah, they do. I've seen them.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, well, then I don't feel so bad. Or this movie isn't that dumb then.
Well, I mean, maybe she had planned on maybe trying to get her into that place to do it, so maybe she did that on purpose.
I'm saying in residential houses.
Yeah.
These doors exist.
Yeah, I think I've seen them.
You put a key in on the inside.
Yeah, people usually just leave the key in it. I
What's
don't know why.
the point? All right, whatever. So they end up outside eventually.
Yep, and I thought it was an in-ground trampoline. I was wrong. She runs towards a pool, and she gets on the pool, and she throws boiling water in her face.
That's right.
Instead of a torch, it's boiling water.
Yep.
And so she
perfectly burns her face
in
half like Two-Face.
She's on the pool, and then the woman catches up to her. They're both standing on top of this pool cover.
Before this, they do the whole reveal of she was the woman in the other car.
Yeah, there's that whole thing.
Yeah.
So then she comes on. She's like, "Why me?" Well, it's only fair that you give me my baby because you were yours. And she goes, "Oh, you were the woman in the other car." Blah blah blah. And then yep. And she goes, "I have to do this. This is gonna hurt." You know, she's being kind about the whole thing. And she goes, "Wait. What are you gonna name her?" And the crazy lady's like, "What? What are you gonna name her?" Me and Matt didn't get a chance to name her. And she goes, "Oh, Isabel." And she goes, "That's a dumb name," and then takes the knife from her and cuts the pool thing open. They both fall in the water and they're struggling under there. And then did she hit her head or something?
She punches her in the face.
Have you ever tried to throw a punch underwater? Anyways.
Yes, and it is not easy or effective.
So it looks like Sarah's about to drown, but then the woman decides to do the right thing and save her. So she swims down, grabs the scalpel, cuts open the pool, and then shoves her through to save her, and she dies.
Yep.
And then Sarah kind of crawls backwards, is crying, and then suddenly just lifts her arms up, and she's holding a baby.
Yes.
And so she apparently had the baby on top of this pool cover, and she's holding the baby, and the cops come around, and
she's not even out of the pool yet.
Yeah.
She's just like propped up in the hole that the woman made.
Yeah.
And then the baby comes out, and she's just like, "Oh, a baby." I fucking lost my mind.
Yeah, you did.
At this
That was
point,
the most emotion I've ever seen you see at anything.
I lost control. I was triggered 110%.
So, the big question: which is worse, Martyrs or Inside?
Oh, the Inside remake.
Yeah.
By far. By far. I would watch the Martyrs remake on repeat for 24 hours before I watched the Inside remake again.
Ever again.
It is the biggest piece of shit movie. It's probably the worst movie I've ever seen.
That far, even.
Ever. It is obnoxiously ridiculous. That ending.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe not the worst movie because the rest of the movie is okay.
You know,
It's entertaining.
It is
you know,
it is a typical horror remake where they're going to try to appeal to a wider audience so they get more money.
Yeah.
So they lighten it up. And I would even be okay with the woman gets away at the end instead of the Sarah gets away at the end instead of the woman. I mean, okay, we knew that was coming, so I knew it was coming, so it wasn't like, oh my god, I can't believe they did it. It's like, well, of course they're gonna do that. They're not going to cut a baby out of her gut.
I thought that because the rest of the movie was so like toned down,
Yeah.
that maybe there is some hope that it will end in some gruesome fashion like the original.
I thought the same thing for a second. Like, what if they'll actually go through with it? And that's the whole thing. So they lighten it up like always, but then just hit you with it.
Yeah.
Which, that would have been pretty nuts. Like, if they would have done something similar to the end of the original.
Yes.
In that version where everything's light. She barely gets any gashes. Like, her lip is cut from like Timbuktu in the original.
Yeah.
But in this one, like, she's got a little cut on her head and this and that. And like, what if they actually went through with it, right?
Right.
And at the end there, and actually did it. But the tone of the movie was already too cute. I mean, in comparison, it was just too light. There's no way they're going to take it that far. And so that thought went out of my head, and I knew that she was going to get away. I knew if she was going to get away for two reasons. She could get out of the house. The other woman in the original, she was never able to get out of the house.
Right.
And so it gave you that claustrophobic feeling where she can't leave. She got out of the house twice. It's like she's going to get away.
I pretty much knew it was done when she got into the cop car and they started driving.
Yeah.
I knew that's the point where it's like, this is an action movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is your typical American feel-good
Ending.
Hollywood ending.
So
yes.
why do you think they do that? My guess is because I think that do they test audience something like this? I mean, I could imagine where the original ending would upset way too many people, and people wouldn't see it, or it would get hammed really bad.
But that's kind of the point of movies like Martyrs and Inside. It's like that's what those movies are known for. Like, that's why they're popular. That's why they're famous.
Do you think that these three guys, the two writers and the director, do you think they came to a studio and said, we want to remake this? Or do you think the studio said, hey, do you guys want to remake this?
I don't know, because the writers are writers from the Rec series, and those movies are not like cotton candy toned down horror movies. Mm-hmm. They're pretty brutal and graphic.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make sense why they would write this movie like this.
Yeah.
So it leads me to believe like the studio wanted the movie to turn out like this.
Yeah.
Like they gave them specific directions to write it like this.
Yeah, I feel like the studio probably would have interfered. I just can't imagine that. Like, why would you pick to remake a movie where the whole point of this movie is the fact that this woman gets a baby cut out of her?
Yeah.
Why would you go? Why would you not do that?
And besides the brutal and graphic violence leading up to that.
Well, even I can see that being toned down. That I can see. But even if it was a cutaway shot where you see her get the upper hand on the woman on the stairs, and you see like a shot of the scissor breach the stomach for a second, then cut away, then it cuts to a scene where she's just rocking in a chair with the baby.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the Rachel Nichols of Sarah, and it's just her face as opposed to the whole gut.
Sure.
You know, so if even a toned down version of that ending.
Yeah.
You know, but they didn't even do that. I mean, they completely. I mean, that's like redoing Star Wars, and Luke and Darth Vader is Luke's like not related to Luke. You know what I mean?
And he also survives and becomes best friends with Luke.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like I mean, it's I don't what's the point of what is the point then of remaking that movie?
I don't know, because that's the thing. It's not like this movie was ever going to be huge. It was never released theatrically. So it's like this movie, the only thing it really had going for it would have been something people to spread the word that, holy shit, this movie is brutal and graphic. Like, that's the only thing I can see making this movie worth it. Remaking this movie would be worth it. Like, because otherwise, what is this movie? It's...
Well, like I said, I mean, if you keep the main story parts, but tone down the grit, I could see that being of the point.
Yeah.
So you're trying to make a PG-13 version of that movie, just spread that, just so other people that maybe couldn't handle it. Like I had trouble with that movie last week, and so maybe like doing it like this way, you know, you can if let's say that you really liked it, and you know, but you know that it's not going to appeal to a wider audience, and you want other people to try to confront this kind of darkness and humanity or something, whatever altruistic, whatever your reasoning for doing this is.
Yeah.
If it's to make money, even I don't know. I mean, but I mean, you got rid of the gore and that stuff. You got rid of the abrasive sound design. You got rid of
well, okay, so the sound, they do have that really annoying, like, well, in this one it's like a pulsing, like,
fart.
Yeah, I don't.
It's like a deep-throated rectum fart that is just.
Yes.
It's just. It's like you're farting and sucking it back in repeatedly. But the other one had this just weird, terrible sounds.
And
Weird,
they were
terrible
effective.
sounds.
I thought they were
absolutely.
used in the way you would expect them to be used in.
Yeah, so I think that I just don't understand why you're going to remake this movie and do it like that. I don't understand what the point is. I don't, because it's not going to make a lot of money, like you said.
Right.
It's not going to be appeal. I mean, unless it is going to appeal to a wider audience. I don't know. I mean, how well did the Martyrs remake do?
I have no idea.
You know, and that one at least. I mean, that one got closer.
It was
not really.
No.
Which one's worse between those two?
See, the Martyrs remake, it had a shitty happy ending.
Yep.
But it at least made a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is just completely ridiculous. Like, so this woman that's been trying to go after you this entire movie now saves your life, and then you pop out a baby in the middle of a pool, and it's just like there. Like she didn't even notice she had the frickin' baby.
And she did. She was like, "Oh, baby's here."
Well, she realized it was now in her hands, but it wasn't like I am giving birth now.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. There was no indication that she was pushing or giving birth. She just went, "Hi, baby."
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, super freaking weird. And so, yeah, in that regard, that's why it's worse, because it doesn't make sense.
I can see where the woman may have had a change of heart if she really cared about the kid and, was like, okay, whatever. Because, I mean, it happened in Star Wars. Darth Vader's like, that is my son. I should probably not let the Emperor kill him. I'll throw him down this vent. And so he's like, see you later. I love you, son. But you cut my hand off. But so maybe there's that. I know I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think it's a piece of shit. It's I don't get it. What's the point of that movie? And I went into it feeling that it was going to be a waste of time, and I was right. We could have just watched the last 10 minutes of that movie and said, "Yep."
I had high hopes because it wasn't made by American writers or director. So I had hopes for it, that it was going to be like a modern...
Because Recs are good. I mean, I've only seen the first
Yeah, they
one,
are.
And it's been a long time.
They're really good.
I saw the whole thing.
They're really good, and that's the other thing. Like, they had good writers behind it. So how it ended up so shitty, I don't know. But, yeah, that's... Yeah.
It's too bad. But unlike where you don't want the directors of Martyrs to ever direct a movie again, I just want these writers and director to not work with whatever that studio is again.
Yeah.
Do not work with them again, because Rec was good, and I don't hold the same. I don't like no. Everybody. John Carpenter's made some has made some steamers. You know what I mean? So it happens.
Something definitely happened with this movie where I think it was a studio intervention. Like, this was made... It wasn't a creative decision, I feel, to do this. Like, or maybe it was. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe they just wanted to make... They felt like that would be a bigger twist if they did this instead of having a grotesque ending like the original. Maybe they thought this will really keep them on their toes. So really shock them. Whatever. I don't know. And to be fair, yeah, it did fucking put me into an epileptic seizure. Triggering. But, yeah, I don't know. In any case, I'm going to go with the Poop Award. Scream Fiends
Turd.
For this movie. Worse than the Martyrs remake.
I'm going to agree with you. It is worse than the Martyrs remake. I'd rather watch Martyrs remake than this. I didn't think anything
would be worse than that movie. As far as...
Nor did I. So, I'm thinking next week, Leatherface.
Why?
Because I want to see it. It was made by the people that did Inside.
Wait, the original Inside?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
I think. Maybe not.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Get at us on Twitter at ScreamFiends. Let us know what you thought of the Inside remake.
We should do
I really want to know.
Yeah, we should. You know what we could do? We could do the reboot of Texas Chainsaw with Jennifer Biel or whatever her name was.
Oh, Jessica Biel?
Jessica Biel, and then watch Leatherface.
Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on iTunes. Subscribe on Google Play. Patreon.com/ScreamFiends. You can donate if you would like. We would love your support. 7voltmedia.com. You can get all of our other content that our people do. And that's about it. Right?
Yeah.
All right. From us at Scream Fiends, so long and farewell.